So today was quite a busy day. We woke up and went straight to the grocery store to get that done, and then we went to Goodwill and picked up some books. I should have dropped some things off, but we left the things at home, so I'll have to donate some things sometime this week. Book-wise, I have finished All the Lights We Cannot See. All the Light We Cannot See, that's what it's called, and it was very World War II historical fiction, like heart-wrenching, sad, and really dark. So on one side we're following one of the younger men who is like trained and accepted into the German army, the N-word army, and then on the another part of the story we're following the locksmith's daughter who is blind, and she has a gem that's supposed to have like magical powers. And in the end, like, she's trying to hide that and figure out who she can and can't trust. And then on the other side, with the boy in the German army, like, it's pretty terrible. Like, we're watching his friends be tortured pretty much, and like just awful stuff that they did, you know? And the way that it ends for him is kind of like, oh, like all that way, and that's what happened. Like, it's just, I guess we were all just holding our breath waiting to see what would happen. So definitely it was an emotional read. I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't my super favorite historical novel, but it did keep me interested, and I didn't have any parts of boring, and it was easy enough to follow, so I appreciated that. So I gave All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Dewar 4 stars. I am about halfway through the Circus de Freak, The Vampire's Assistant, and I believe that that is the second book. This is the first book from that series that I've read, but they seem to be just fine to read as a standalone, so I have about 3 hours left of that audiobook before that is finished, so I'm hoping to finish that by the end of this following week. My goals for the weekend, it is Saturday night, so tomorrow's Sunday, and my wrap-up at the end of the week is supposed to be Mondays. So tonight my goal is to finish reading Local Woman Missing. I'm about halfway through that, and give a review before the end of Monday. So that is my goal. So tomorrow will be a reading day, wrapping it up, and then I will give you guys the new TBR schedule for the second week. I am planning on making the second week of January Smut Week, so get ready for that, and then the third week we'll see how it goes. But I have so many books I was gifted for Christmas that are spicy, and I just think we should dedicate a week to that. So that will be the plan. So I will talk to you guys when I finish Local Woman Missing. My reading goal for 2024 this year is to read 1 book a week, and if I read more than that, that's great. If I just read the one, that's all I have to do. So the book I picked was actually Local Woman Missing, and I ended up finishing it by Stephen King, and we watched the movie, so we have to do our little talk about that. And then I ended up finishing All the Light We Cannot See, so that one got 4 stars. I'm almost done with The Vampire's Assistant from the Cirque du Soleil, so that may be another one. And then I do really need to finish Local Woman Missing, I feel like, because that was the initial book I was supposed to read this week. So we may get 4 down for the first week of January, and that would be amazing. So let us see how that goes. Good morning, everyone. I'm still in my PJs. I got my first load of laundry out, but not folded yet. And it's Tuesday, so I wanted to get this blog up to you guys. I did have just 2 more things to add to it, so I'm going to talk to you guys about the 4 books, not just 1. I know the goal was just 1 per week, but I actually got 4 books done and reviewed for the first week of January 2024. We got 4 books. I was really excited. So the books are Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. This one I gave 2 stars. It had an amazing ending, loved it so much, but I feel like really the book could have been like this long and still told the same story. So I just felt like the middle was really rough to get through. Like I really had to, I kind of started skimming, to be honest. But the ending was great, so I would give the full 2 stars to the ending.
I do think that the middle was a little bit lagging, though. So that's 2 stars for Local Woman Missing. And then All the Lights We Cannot See by Anthony Dower. This one I gave 4 stars. It is a historical fiction, and it has a little bit of fantasy in it. It is set in World War II. We follow 2 characters. One is a girl that is a watchmaker's daughter, and a locksmith's daughter, and she is blind. So we follow her and like her carrying an artifact, or maybe a real artifact. We're not sure if she is the real one or the fake one, throughout the story during the war. And then we also follow a young man who, from Germany, I'm assuming, who joined the Nazi army, and kind of his story and what he experienced there. And honestly, there is one part that kind of just shocks me. It's like this one boy, one of his friends, he ends up like cheating on the eye exam so that he can be let into the army, or the whatever they call it, the troops. And they end up finding out that he faked his eye exam, and they send him back. Like, I don't know, in an awful way. And I can't imagine being those parents and just having to accept that. Like, I could never. So 4 stars. It was not my absolute favorite, but it was an amazing historical fiction. No romance. There's no romance there. The next one is Stephen King, It. And that one we'll be sitting down with the hubby and talking about the movie. We also watched the old school movie, and that was a first for both of us. I gave it 3 stars. I feel like, yeah, it was creepy. Parts of it were creepy, but it was like, the end was like a spirit trip. What's up with the turtle? And like, how come when he was like, this is, I don't know. And the book and the movie were nothing alike. They were pretty much completely not even the same story. So there was like parts that were, but I'd have to say that the book was 3 times scarier, at least, than the movie was. We have not watched the most recent It movie, however. So that one I gave 3 stars for It by Stephen King. The next one was Cirque du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant, which is actually the second one, but it seems like you can read these as standalones, and that's by Darren Shan. And I gave that one 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I want to read all of the Circus du Freaks. Like, oh my goodness. It was kind of like The Vampire's Assistant, but from a kid's perspective. And then the Wolfman's there, and the fact that he has to, like, save his friend's memories. Like, that's how he puts it. Like, there was just so much wrapped up in such a tiny, tiny book. I mean, it's not a long book. And even though it's supposed to be like a young adult, like, I was freaked out, and I was definitely entertained. So I think there's 12 or 14. I'll have to check on how many there are total. But I'm definitely going to go and read all of them because I enjoyed it. So that one got 5 stars. So the top book of the week is Circus du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant, followed by All the Lights We Cannot See, followed by It, and in the running was Local Woman Missing. So that is my reviews for January, the first week of 2024. Let me know what you think if you've read any of those books, and I posted full written reviews on the website, so if you'd like to check that, www.bambireads.com. All the reviews are on there. That I picked up this week at the Goodwill. It's the secondhand store. The Giver of Stars by Jojo Mouse, and it does not have a cover on it, but it looks like a good book. Paris in Love by Eloise James. This morning the snow was coming down fast in the Rue des Conservatory. Slanting sideways entering the gray slate roof, the color of milk. I leaned against my study window, idly thinking about how passionate children love snow, when I realized that I was peering down at a group of Parisian women in the street below, engaged in a rapid-fire kissing of wintry hello. Growing up on the farm, we'd braved snowstorms and puffy coats. These women wore dark coats belted tightly around their slim waists. As they bent towards each other, pecking like manic sparrows, their scarves flashed magenta lavender, dull gold. From my vantage point from above them, they looked like inhabitants of a different world. From Paris in Love. I also found the next Stephen King book. Construction site accident severed his arm, scrambled his mind, and imploded his marriage. The wealthy Minnesotan builders faced the ordeal of rehabilitation along the enraged. Renting a house on the studied, beautiful, and early undeveloped splinter of the Florida coast, Edgar slowly emerges from his prison of pain to the bond with Elizabeth Esterlake, a sick old woman whose roots are tangled deep in the Dumankey. And as he heals He paints feverishly, compulsively, his exploding talent both a wonder and a weapon. For Edgar's creations are not just paintings, but portals for the ghost of Elizabeth's past, and their power cannot be controlled. Mr. Nice Guy by Jennifer Miller and Jason Pfeiffer. Lucas Callahan gave up his law degree, fiancé, and small-town future for a shot at making it in the Big Apple. He snagged an entry-level job at Empire magazine, believing it only a matter of time before he became a famous writer. And then late one night in downtown bar, he meets a gorgeous brunette who takes him home. Carmilla Kelly wants to be a hard-hitting journalist, only to find herself cast to the role of Empire sex columnist, thanks to the boys' club mentality of Manhattan magazine. Her latest piece is about an unfortunate and unsatisfying encounter with an awkward and nerdy guy who was nice enough to look at but horribly inexperienced in bed. Lucas only discovers that he slept with the infamous Carmilla Kelly, that is, his own magazine sex columnist, when he reads her printed takedown, humiliating and furious. He pens a rebuttal and sings it Nice Guy. Empire publishes it, and the pair of columnists go viral. Readers demand more. So the magazine makes an arrangement. Each week, Carmen and Luca will sleep together and write a dual account of their sexual exploits. It's the most provocative sexual relationship any couple has had, and the columnist lovers are so engaged in more than a war of words. In the end, they will have to choose between ambition, love, and the consequences of total honesty. This seems like a very more upfront version of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I don't know in what world somebody would make that. Like, no job is that important to yo yourself out. But, okay. Like, I honestly judge this book by the cover. So we'll read it. We'll read it and see how far we get. I'm skeptical, y'all. That sounds crazy. Bull in the White City by Eric Larson. Bringing Chicago circa 1893 to vivid life, Eric Larson's spellbinding bestseller entwines the true tale of two men, a brilliant architect behind the legendary 1893 World's Fair. Bringing Chicago circa 1893 to vivid life, Erica Larson's spellbinding bestseller entwines the true tales of two men, the brilliant architect behind the legendary 1893 World's Fair, striving to secure America's place in the world, and the cunning serial killer who used the fair to lure his victims to their death. Combining meticulous research with nail-biting storytelling, Erica Larson has crafted a narrative with all the wonder of newly discovered history and thriller of the best fiction. Yes, and scary, yes. I'm so stuck on true crime. And I know it sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds great. And I have one more book that I picked up, The Little Giant of Aberdeen County by Tiffany Baker. And this one, Meet Truly Place. The Little Giant of Aberdeen County. Meet Truly Place, part Behemoth, part witch, part Cinderella. Born larger than life in a small-minded town, Truly breaks her family into smithereens. Her mother dies during Truly's birth, and when her father follows shortly after, Truly and her dainty sister Serena Jane are destined for very different fates. As Truly grows larger and larger on the rundown farm, she watches lovely Serena Jane become the town's adored May Queen and the obsession of the local boy, Bob Morgan, the youngest in line of the Aberdeen doctors, who for generations wove their influence among the town's citizens. Yet, no matter how far apart life propels them, Truly and her sister are forever linked, and Truly will find her future shaped by Serena Jane's relationship, a century-old antique of Dr. Morgan's, and the relationship that love cannot be ordered to size. Oh, that sounds sweet and sad. All kinds of things. So, that is that. And then, you guys, I have an announcement as well. I have an announcement! I am finally launching the Patreon, so it will be live February 16th, because I didn't want it to be on Valentine's Day, and then I thought, okay, well, that's a Thursday the day after, so it's going to be launched the Friday after Valentine's Day, the 16th, and we will be reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, the whole 5 series. I believe there's 5 in there, 5 books. I believe so. I put them on my Kindle, so I'm ready. I've had a few people ask me if I've read them. I have not, and it seems like if I want buddy reads, I should probably read what everybody else is reading so we can talk about it. So if you want, the Patreon is going to start at $5 a month, and there is going to be a reading test that you can do with me to see how quickly you read. We're going to have a schedule for reading, and it's not going to be too grueling. I'm kind of considering whether to do like a slower reading speed and then like a fast reading speed, like 2 separate groups, but I may just start with just the one since this is my first go. And we will sit and do reading sprints together with the books. We will share quotes from the books. We will talk about what we've read. We're going to do, I'm hoping bi-weekly, maybe 3 times a week check-ins, depending on how the book's going. And I'm just looking forward to just nerding out with you guys and literally sitting down and reading these books with you. So if you want to read A Court of Thorns and Roses with me, I will have a Patreon link posted, and I'm sure you're going to see more videos talking about it, but that is the plan. So February 16th is when the Patreon should go live, and we're going to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. So if you don't have the books, go ahead and get your hands on them, whether it's in the library, the Kindle, or if you're going to buy the copies, secondhand them, whatever you want to do. Remember, Pango is a wonderful place to find books. I personally sell a lot of my books on Pango, and I just use whatever credit I have to buy more used books. So it's kind of like a nice way to trade books. That way you get what you want. And now, heading into the second week of January 2024, it's Smut Week. Because I have so many. I've got so many from Christmas. I had so many from last year that we didn't read, so I'm only going to have to read one, but we'll see how it goes. If I finish it, I'm going to continue on. So these are the ones that I've pulled so far, and I'm just going to mood read and see which one we end up finishing. Neon Gods by Katie Roberts, the first book. We have The Kraken Sacrifice by Katie Roberts. We have Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller. The Dragon's Bride by Katie Roberts. The Sea Witch by Katie Roberts. Hooked by Emily McGintrey. And I have an ARC that I'm working on as well. And then, for audiobooks, I have Whiskey Lies and Loving Whiskey, both by Brittany Nicole, and those are on Audible. So if I don't, if I get to cleaning, I get busy, I'm still going to finish it. Those are the ones I'm not hoping to read all of them, but those are the ones I have to choose from, and I'll be doing check-ins during this week. We'll have the wrap-up for Love the Scanner. We scanned all my books in. We scanned all my hubby's books in. The kids are going to start their list when my daughter gets home from school. She's going to scan all her books, and then we have the cookbooks and, like, the information books to scan, and I think after that, I'm not sure. But then, did you know that LibBib also keeps track of games, movies, so, like, DVDs and video games, PC games? So I'm probably going to scan all those too, because it has happened before where he'll go out and he'll be like, I found this DVD at like a secondhand store and we already have a copy. Which, no big deal, but I mean, if you could just look up the list, I feel like we're going to be more efficient this way. And I love the fact that it like organizes it into alphabetical order if you want, or by publication date, whatever you want. So I'm probably going to have an alphabetized home library here pretty soon because LibBib does it for me, and I love my scanner. It is so much fun. Like, honestly, like, we stayed up way too late last night, like, just scanning things. Like, I know that's so corny, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And I think I'm going to use it for my daughter. Definitely, she's going to scan in her books, right? But then trying to get her to read, she's in first grade, and it's kind of tough. Like, she wants me to read for her, and I wonder if, like, she gets to go check out a book, and we scan it, we're playing library, and we sit down to read it, and then she has to talk a little review and I can write it for her. I wonder if I can get her to read all of the books that she actually owns, because she has this whole little shelf over here, this little one, that's hers, all of it. So it would be nice if she read them. It would be. So yes, that's the plan for today, is the Gem Art and the Whiskey Lies by Brittany Nicole. And also with the scanner, some of the books did not have like barcodes. So I don't know if I can print barcodes. I'm probably just going to manually enter them into the system. But I was like, darn, like, so if you know where I can print off barcodes for books that I already own, let me know. It's not a big deal, but it'd be cool to know how or where I could start looking for that.
So guys, the scanner will help us. So I'll show you. You see this book? Bam. On there. It's always been scanned. If it's always scanned, it's yellow. If it's not scanning, then it's red. But is it blue, then it is working.
Oh. Do you like it? Is it faster than taking pictures and making a list?
Yeah, taking pictures are boring, and this is more fun. What's that so fun?
It's also fun.
I said it's awesome fun.
It's awesome fun. Show us how fast you can do that. Up.
Cookie?
Mm-hmm.
Say onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia.
If you write this video.
Say that. Onomatopoeia if you like the video.
Onomatopoeia!
Oh, the baby!
Shh. Come on, 3 more.
That's how fast I can go. Goodbye, guys.
And as far as the diamond painting goes, this is where I am on The Mandalorian. So halfway, I'm listening to Whiskey Lies on Audible. And I'm going to try and get this big old chunk done today. I'd like to finish this one before I move on to the next one. And then after this is finished, I'm going to try and make a frame. Because I know that the hardware store will cut plexiglass for me. And I'm pretty sure I can cut, trim and make my own little frame for this. Because framing it's a pricey thing to have done. So I figured since I'm trying to do one of these a month, that maybe I can just make my own frame for it. So, all right, that's where we are. It's really, I know, but it's so many diamonds. And I'm not complaining. I do love it. And, and I forgot to show you guys this is that organization box I told you guys about for the gem art. Like, look at all the little containers, and it locks, so if it falls, it's okay. And then this is what they look like. There's quite a few in there, and then you can just pop it open and pour out what you need. I like this much better than the bags. My only concern is, like, how am I going to separate the different projects? But I'm probably just going to have to, like, write it on here, like, the project name, so that I don't grab the wrong one. Or maybe we'll separate it just, like, with a piece of, like, cardstock or something, and just be like, these are separate. But for $8, it was not bad. I loved it, and it came with extra stickers. Alright, well, I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you for chilling with me, and I definitely recommend reading The Circus de Freak, The Vampire's Assistant. It was wonderful. I super enjoyed it. I believe it's on Audible as well. It's like 5 or 6 hours long, so yeah, it was a good week, and I look forward to reading with you guys more this week, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you so much.